Good morning, Friday, July 25th. I'm Zach Howard. Here's morning market update. Hope everybody had a great week heading into the weekend here. And we're going to focus on two things. U.S. equity markets continue to rip higher in the backdrop of falling volatility, as I keep banging the table on. And also, Mr. Bitcoin in the week on that. Some nice developments there and some beautiful charts here. But let's look at the U.S. equities. S&P 500 all-time highs. I think 13 all-time highs here now in the last month. But the S&P hasn't had a 1% up or down day in that time frame. Well, why is that? Back to the volatility. You get the VIX in that 15 to 17, 18 bracket. There's not enough components in option strikes to have big movements. That's why we're in the condensed area. 80% yesterday was a flat day in S&P. 80% of SPX names were actually positive on the day with an average gain of about 2%. But you're looking inside those big mega cap stocks, they continue to put where the target is going to be on the S&P 500. Yesterday, Tesla pulled back significantly, which has a big cap weighing, and then NVIDIA near all-time highs pushed it higher. But if we look underneath the surface, the dispersion between the SPY, which is the cap-weighted index, SPY, versus the RSP, which is the equal-weighted index over the last 35 years, is never had this much concentration in those mega cap stocks. It's in the 99 percentile. But let's look inside those smaller companies that you would see inside the Russell 3000. We're seeing broader market participation there in some of these names. We've seen it this week with some of these meme stocks, big jumps, high short interest stocks. But 420 stocks there since April lows with the Liberation Day are up over 50%. These stocks are the most volatile because they're arguably the smallest cap and arguably the junkiest. Most of them don't even have earnings. If they have debt or junk debt status, they don't have ability to service any principal. But these are the ones that bounce the most, just like the altcoins in these low volatility environments. And that's what we've seen. Where does it go from here? I continue to think August will be a stronger month as well, based on the macro backdrop of increasing inflation, increasing monetary easing, increasing fiscal spending, increasing growth from rate of change standpoint, which is what matters the markets and drives the flows. And the flows of overseas sales from S&P 500 companies, 28% sales outside the U.S. So increasing economic development ex-USA going to help these companies as well. Foreign investors continue to invest in the U.S. market. It is still the biggest market. And we're also setting up now for a tailwind for another catalyst for higher lows, higher highs in equity markets. The buyback window that has been closed due to earnings releases is now opening up again. And historically, August is a great month. So I will continue to be bullish, risk on into August. And that's what I think there. Earlier last week, I think it was, I did a video, or maybe it was Friday, where I talked about that. It was 80,000 Bitcoin that were dormant since 2011. The OG Bitcoiner who hadn't moved them had transferred them to this wallet. There was actually a custodian wallet at Galaxy Digital. And wake up this morning to realize that that owner, through that platform Galaxy, has liquidated their Bitcoin in that wallet and raised fiat in terms of a sale. Now, that's a positive in terms of its ability, the market to adapt for such a big sale. What did Bitcoin do? It pulled back to 115, 116, and here we're already on the up day here today. I remember some people I used to really look up to in the Wall Street community a couple years ago would say, well, Bitcoin is too small to have a $5-8 billion transaction in a day, would move the market too much. You needed to put something like in gold. You could do that easily. Well, here is evidence here today of a big move, and the market absorbed it quite easily. A friend of mine out there, shout out to Mark. He was we're going back and forth last couple of days here earlier in the week, looking at that wallet, and he actually found some hidden messages in the wallet, not in the wallet, in the protocol of that original OG back in 2020. and he had this message encrypted in the protocol. Hashtag, how much would you donate anonymously? So what is someone doing with that Bitcoin all of a sudden hasn't moved in 14 years? Now cashing it in. What are they building? A treasure chest, a war chest for something? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's John McAfee calling from the grave. I don't think so, but I'm going to keep an eye on it. I think it's pretty interesting. But let's get on to some more real life charts and seeing what is in that Bitcoin space. These great charts here I got from the guys over at CAPRIOLE, Capriole.com. This week, they have a pro service, but they put some of these free charts out there. Here we're looking at, in blue, the percentage of Bitcoin in existence that's being acquired by institutions per day, relevant to that red line, which is the actual mining supply. Remember, there's only 3,150 Bitcoin that can be mined a week, no matter what the price is, no matter how much the demand. And that continues to fall well below what the institutions want to accumulate and buy. Supply, demand, stock to flow. These are the bullish catalysts that I am super excited. Still, Bitcoin continue to be. Here on this chart, we're looking at it from Bitcoin treasury purchases in green versus sales in red. Have more supply than demand. Often the price goes down. If you have more buyers than sellers, the price goes up. And that's what we continue to see on the longer term trajectory. Yeah, we have down days from time to time. Maybe there's not so much ETFs buying as there is from the previous week, but the trend is undeniable, up and to the right. Here we're looking at a similar chart of that. How many companies now? We got 145 companies that are putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet, on the capital structure. There's 50,000 public companies out there. We're at 145. Still such early days, but look at the trend. Continues to be bullish trend up and to the right. This chart here. Now we have $250 billion US in institutional buying of Bitcoin, whether that's through the ETFs or these treasury companies. But the charts don't lie. Up and to the right, bullish trend. That's what I got for you today and this week. Man, I hope you guys have an awesome weekend with your